Thunderraining Poison is a representation of a dissipating cloud, and that was a result of some research that I did related to the nuclear tests at Maralinga in the 1950s and early 60s. I've been working towards like a body of work about Maralinga anyway, but when I was approached a couple of years ago during Tarnandi, the Aboriginal Torres Strait Islander Festival in Adelaide, I was already thinking about creating a work related to the bomb clouds, and the cloud itself comprises of 2,000 pieces, which are glass yams, and part of that project too was working with the glass associates at the jam factory in Adelaide. Wanted to work with a group of people who I admired, but also I felt like it was a really great project to educate them on the history of South Australia and the history of Maralinga. So we did a visit up to Maralinga as part of that project, where the associates were able to see Maralinga firsthand, and we visited the breakaway site, where the bomb was so hot it turned the ground to glass, and they were able to interact with that. Well, I was as well. It was the first time that I'd visited that bomb site, but it was the second time I'd been to Maralinga. But it was a great project, I think, because I believe we all got something really great out of it in the end, even though it's a really quite sad story of, you know, the government, British and Australian government's disrespect to human life, that we were able to work together to create this piece that talks about those clouds. Nuclear tests actually of Maralinga, their clouds travelled across my grandfather's country, which is Gugutha country, so a lot of that area too is the Woomera prohibited zone. And I was born in Woomera, and a lot of those planes left Woomera to fly through the clouds and things like that. So I feel like I've got quite a personal connection to that area, obviously because it's my birthplace, but yeah, just the stories in general from that area. The Blue Danubes are, I wouldn't say a series of 8 bombs, but they, because each Blue Danube is different to one another, but they do represent the nuclear weapon that was tested at Maralinga. There's 8 in total, and there's 4 that is at Defying Empire, and there's 3 from memory that are the largest ones out of the 8, and then there's a small one with clear yams inside them. So the purpose of those Blue Danubes was to represent the exact nuclear weapon, but I know that there were many others, but that was something that I was initially researching before other works that I created related to Maralinga. I think I was more attracted to these forms because I could replicate them in glass, but also the idea was to encase sort of like skeletal remains of yams of the bodies inside those Blue Danube. Each Blue Danube houses a variation of numbers of yams and variations of colours, so there's a few that are around that have black lustre colour, which represents like burning of the skin, and it's like an opalescent black colour, but it has blue and brown tones. And then there's clear and sandblasted and a variation of black and purpley colour. So the yams inside those Blue Danubes also are skinnier than what I normally would make, because for me they represent the landscape and the people dying as a result of these tests. Fallout Babies is about the children that were affected after or during the Maralinga tests. I travelled to Woomera last year to do research about my birthplace because I'd heard stories related to women miscarrying, but also having stillborn babies and also babies with deformities. The bush plums in this work represent embryonic state of pregnancy, but also different stages of pregnancy. And the largest plum that is sitting in one of those cribs is something that represents either a toddler or a young child. I think for me it's the process, like it's something like to work with something that's molten hot that you gather from a furnace, and then you can create an object from that. Was quite interesting, and for me it was a challenge. Learn very quickly how to respect the medium. For me, it's been able to make something from your own hands and from your own breath that intrigued me quite a lot. The Defying Empire exhibition is a huge honour, and particularly because it's in the year, a year of the anniversary of the referendum. To celebrate Aboriginal artists as a whole in Canberra is a great opportunity, I think, for me particularly, to celebrate with my peers and celebrate my work. I have a strong sense of pride to be a part of that exhibition. It's quite a significant achievement for a national institution to have such a big triennial that revolves around Aboriginal artists from many areas, from many parts of their career, and from many, diverse mediums that they work in.